Hello, my name is Emmanuel Bopalm,
And mine is Brandon Copenhaver.
and today our ethical issue is whether to use or not use performance-enhancing drugs in sports.
First, we have to give you our definition of ethics. We have came up with 4 principles that define our ethical view. Integrity, respect, honesty, and trust. Integrity. We must demonstrate, teach, and instill this in others. We also have to respect each other, not only our teammates and our staff, but the other teammates, our opponents. Honesty. We must play the game fairly. Trust. You have to trust each other to do the right thing. Be ethically and morally correct. We're going to hit 5 points today for our goals. First, background information in performance-enhancing drugs so that you understand what they are. Pros and cons of the performance-enhancing drugs. And then we'll give you a case study on Lance Armstrong. And then, finally, we'll discuss our responsibilities as athletes in sport. So you may ask, what are PEDs? They're any type of drug that enhances performance above one's natural ability. Some of the types of PEDs that we will discuss today are stimulants, anabolic agents, and depressants. One may ask, how long have performance-enhancing drugs been used in sports? Well, they've been used since the beginning, the original Olympic Games. And the use of stimulants has been documented since the early 1900s.
As Brandon said, stimulants is a form of performance-enhancing drug. This stimulant increases generalized aggressiveness, stimulates overall mental alertness, increases competitiveness, and competitiveness response. Anabolic agents is another form of performance-enhancing drug. This increases endurance, increases strength, help to heal bone pain. Depressants is the last form of the performance-enhancing drug that we discussed. This slows down the pulse of the athlete, slows down the breathing.
And it also calms nerves. Many people may think depressants, why would you want to be calm nerves and slow pulse? Well, you got to look at all sports. Think of archers. When they get into that and zero in on that bullseye, they need to have calm nerves so their body isn't shaking. So that this is why many will use these types of drugs. Just like Emmanuel stated, we have stimulants, antibiotic agents, and depressants. All these enhance one's performance above their natural ability, which is a pro if you look at it that way. However, there's some cons to performance-enhancing drugs also. One, they're negative towards your long-term health effects. Yeah, you might be breaking records now, but you're going to have issues in the long run. Is it really worth it? We also have an unfair advantage for those who actually use the drugs. So, and then you have coercion. I put arms race. What is an arms race? An arms race is, I'm using performance-enhancing drugs. So Emmanuel feels that he must use them now to catch up to me in the sport. Otherwise, he's going to fall behind and lose his job. So now Emmanuel is now using performance-enhancing drugs. That's the arms race. Also, as athletes, we need to be the role models. By using performance-enhancing drugs, what are we telling the children? Hey, go ahead and use them, right? No. Then we have sports fans. By using performance-enhancing drugs, we are not providing them with a real competition. They came to see natural athletes, not juiced ones. Then you have tainted records. Look, Barry Bonds, Mark McGwire, Sammy Sosa tainted the home run record of baseball. We have to go back to the days of Hank Aaron, and he's 100% natural. And last, it's illegal. But most important, sportsmanship is a con to performance-enhanced drugs. One may ask, performance-enhanced drugs, sportsmanship, how's that a con? Well, it's a con because you're breaking the spirit of sport. The spirit of sport is to be fair, respect to the sport. You're not doing either. It also violates mine and Emmanuel's definition of ethics: integrity, respect, honesty, trust. Sabak, in his book, he summed it up perfectly. He stated, in the true spirit of sport competition, athletes are expected to participate to the best of their natural ability and to win or lose on that premises. By using performance-enhancing drugs, you're not doing a true spirit of sport competition.
As Brandon stated, today our case study features Lance Armstrong. As you know, Lance is a professional road cyclist and a 7-time Tour de France champion. Under an intense suspension, Armstrong admitted to taking performance-enhancing drugs. Eventually, Armstrong was stripped of his prize medals and his achievements through his career.
During Lance Armstrong's interview with Oprah Winfrey, he was quoted as saying, "It was win at all costs. When I was diagnosed with cancer, I would do anything to survive. I took this attitude and win at all costs to cycling." He also stated, "My ruthless desire to win at all costs served me well on that bike." It definitely served him well. He had 7 Tour de France championships, but who else can say that? So it brings up a couple ethical questions. One, what would you do if you were in Armstrong's shoes? I want you to think about that yourself. As I'm going to ask Emmanuel the question, and let's hear what he has to say. So what would you do in Armstrong's shoes?
Well, Brandon, if I was in Lance Armstrong's shoes, no, I would have not taken the performance-enhancing drugs. It is morally and ethically wrong to the sport, to his peers, to the fans, to the sport of the game.
Okay. Well, that answers our next question. Was it ethically right for him to use PEDs? You already stated no. But my question then is, didn't he help the sport by using these?
Honestly, in my opinion, I feel as though he helped scrutinize the sport even more. Now there's more sanctions for individuals that do take performance-enhancing drugs. Now it's a bad cloud that's hovering over the sport of cycling. So honestly, no, I think he made it much more harder for the sport of cycling.
I agree with you, but he did help the sport a little bit. How? He did it by, now it's more scrutinized. So now you'll have a cycling sport that is on natural ability versus performance-enhancing drugs. So in a sense, his negativity actually may have helped the sport. Yes, in the wrong way, but for the better. So our responsibilities as athletes in sports is to compete without an unfair advantage to our opponents. We also have to have fair play and honesty, respect for the rules of the game, respect for others playing in the game, which are 2 of our 4 ethical principles. You have to play in the spirit of the sport and be positive role models for those that look up to you.
In review, our presentation covered our definition of ethics. It gave us our 4 principles, which is the integrity, which is the respect, have respect for the game, have honesty for the game, and trust. Also, we discussed the different types of performance-enhancing drugs. And we also gave our insight on the pros and cons within taking performance-enhancing drugs. As we showed, our case study that was featured today was Lance Armstrong. We gave our intake on his decisions. And last but not least, we gave our responsibilities as athletes to our sport.
And these are a little bit of our references, and we want to thank you for your time.